Good day, class. I am Luis Ryan M. Culibar, your mathematics teacher for today. Our first lesson for patterns and algebra is in 3 words. Okay, our topic today is express, translate, and evaluate. At the end of this lesson, you students are expected to illustrate the English phrases to mathematical phrases and vice versa in a variety of examples. Second, translate English phrases to mathematical phrases and vice versa. Third, appreciate the importance of correct translation from English to mathematical phrases and vice versa through modeling activities. So, do you know, class, that there are some words or phrases that we use in our daily life that means to be mathematical operations like addition, multiplication, subtraction, and division. A classic example is deposit and withdrawal. When we deposit a money in a bank, we are adding money to the existing money that we have. So it means that we are into the addition operation. However, when we withdraw money from a bank, we are into the subtraction operation. So since we are subtracting money from our saved money. So I will give you another example like give or take, share, throw or pick up. These words are some examples of real life words that have some mathematical operations behind it. Now that you are familiarized with words and phrases that we use in our daily life, that means to be mathematical operations, so let us proceed. So our first problem. Ryan bought 10 candies from the store. He shared half of the candy to his siblings. After sharing the candies, he then eats 3. How much candy does Ryan have left? Translate the word problem into a mathematical expression. So, as the problem stated that Ryan bought 10 candies, he then shared half of the candies to his siblings. So let us divide it by 2 or subtract it by half of the candy. And then he eats 3 after sharing. So the question, how many candies does Ryan have left? So the answer is 2 candies. So I think it is very easy, right? So second problem. Cyril wants to save money for this Christmas. She went to the bank and deposited 1,000 pesos. A week before Christmas, she withdraws 500 pesos to buy gifts for her mother. The gift cost 250 peso. So then he went to the bank again and deposited the change. How much money does Cyril have left in her bank? Translate the word problem into mathematical expression. So the second problem says that Cyril saved or deposit 1,000 pesos at the bank. And a week before Christmas, she withdraws 500 pesos to buy gifts for her mother. Since the gift cost only 250 pesos, she then deposit the change to the bank. The question, how much money does Cyril have left in her bank? So the answer is 750 pesos. So let us proceed. I have here some symbols. I want you to try and translate the following objects into mathematical expressions on your own. So this is like a coding activity wherein the pineapple will be the X while the orange will be the number count. So I have here some examples. If I have a pineapple, its algebraic expression is X. If I have 1 pineapple and 3 pens, it would be equal to X plus 3 since our code for our pineapple is X and the pen is for the number count. So if we combine it together, it would be X plus 3. I have here some other sets of pineapples and pens for you to translate into an algebraic expression on your own. So the first blank has 2 pineapple and 1 pen. So it is translated into 2x plus 1. Next one has 5 pineapples and 3 pens. So it is 5x plus 3 since 1 pineapple is equivalent to the number x. And the pen is for the additional number count. Next one has 2 pineapple and 3 pens. So it is 2x plus 3. And the last one has 5 pineapples and 1 pen. So it's 5x plus 1. I think everyone can solve this by your own since it is very easy. So, students, there are some other existing real-life objects that has coding or a meaning to it, like, for example, for lovers, instead of typing the long word I love you, they will only text or chat 143. Why 143? Since I has only one word and love is 4 words and you is 3 words, so it's 143. Another example would be sign language. I think you can imagine why sign language is another example that has code in it. Next is Roman numerals and also measurements. So, before we proceed to the discussion, I want you to answer this question in your head. What did you learn from the activity, or what did I learn from the activity? How did you or how did I identify it means to be additions, subtraction, multiplication, division in real life? How did I translate the symbol into algebraic expression? So then, I want you to keep this question in your mind since they are important for better understanding for this discussion on today's topic. So let us proceed. A certain number added to 5 is translated to n plus 5. Or you can change or use any letters of the alphabet since the word phrase did not specify the letter. And this is an example of an open phrase. So what is an open phrase? An open phrase is a mathematical phrase that contains a variable. Next one, 7 added by 5 is translated as 7 plus 5. And this is an example of a number phrase. What is a number phrase? A number phrase is an expression that does not contain a variable. So, next, expressions like 8 plus 2, 12 minus 2, 5 multiplied by 2, and 20 divided by 2 are some number phrases for number 10. Why the number 10? Since, as you can see, 8 plus 2 is equal to 10, or 20 divided by 2 is equal to 10. So they are the number phrase to the number 10. Next expressions like x over 5, negative 2a, 2n plus 8, and 2 times the quantity of 1 plus w. These are some examples of an open phrase. Another name for open phrase is algebraic expression. So I have a question in mind. When can open phrase to be a number phrase? When we remove its variable. And how do we remove the variable? To give it a value. Okay. So let us proceed. Try to translate this. A product of 2 and a certain number is translated to 2x or 2n or any letters of the alphabet. Next is 3x plus 6 is translated to thrice a certain number increased by 6. As you can see here, our 3x is translated to thrice a certain number, and our addition is translated to increased by. Plus, don't be confused if you have different translation of to mine, since there are lots of different ways to translate this expression to word problem. And the last one, difference of 8 and thrice a certain number is translated to 8 minus 3a. The difference of is translated as subtractions in our mathematical phrase, and thrice a certain number is 3a. Again, reminders, you can use any letters in the alphabet. Okay, from our word phrase, since we mentioned the number 8 first, so our 8 will be written first, subtracted by the second mention, which is thrice a certain number. So that's why it is 8 minus 3a. So I have here translation of the mathematical operations, like for example, our addition can be translated as sum of, added to, increased by, more than, and, plus. Next is subtraction, can be translated to difference, minus, subtracted from, decreased by, less, less than. Next is division, can be quotient, divided by, ratio, per, and over. Next, multiply. It can be product, the product of, multiplied by, times, and per. Lastly, equals can be translated as equals, is equal to, is, the result is, becomes. So, these are different translation of mathematical operations. Take note, some of the words here needs to be mentioned or used through appropriate combination of words. You can't use it as it is. Like for example, 7 plus 5. You can translate it as 7 sum of 5. Like that. Instead, say the sum of 7 and 5. See? It is more appropriate to hear and to see. I have here an example of model of translation of the expression 3x plus 7 minus 2. First, 3 multiplied by or times the number x added by or increased by 7 decreased by or minus 2. You can use other translation here as long as it is appropriate and correct, because you can translate this differently. So let us proceed. I have here some activity. I really wanted to call your names in class, but I really can't due to this is only a recording. Okay, so I also want you to answer this on your own. The square of a certain number is translated as x squared. I think this can be understood easily because it is easy. Next is 2x squared plus 3 is translated to 2 times the square of the number x added by 3. Or you can also translate it as the sum of 2 times the square of the number x and 3. Next, the quotient of the number x and 1 multiplied by 3 is translated to x over 1 times 3. The fourth one is x over 3 minus 2 can be translated as the difference of x over 3 and 2. And the last one, the square of 4 added by 2 is equal to 18. And it is translated as 4 squared plus 2 is equal to 18, as you can see on the screen. Class, we may have different translation in this set of questions, but I think all of you are correct, since I think this is very easy for you. It's supposed to be our quiz time in our live discussion, but I will answer this set of questions so that you can understand it more. So, the first, A. Translate the word problem into mathematical expression. So, number 1. First, Danny bought a huge cake for his 3 siblings. He cut the cake into 12 equal pieces. How much pieces would each one of them receive if they share the cake, including Danny? Number 2. Hannah wants to build a rabbit farm. She bought a pair of rabbits from the animal shop and put them inside the rabbit cage. If a pair of rabbits gives birth to 3 baby rabbits a year, how much rabbit would Hannah own after 10 years? Okay, so next. B. Create a word problem in any context out from the given expression. So 10 multiplied by 3 is equal to 30. Number 2 is x plus 4 is equal to 10. So let us do the first one. Danny bought a huge cake for him and his other 3 siblings. He cut it into 12 equal pieces. So how much pieces would each one of them receive if they share the cake, including Danny? So it is equal to 3 pieces or slices of cake to every member of the family. Okay, so I think you can understand it because I have shown it on the screen. Okay, next. Hannah wants to build a rabbit farm. If a pair of rabbits gives birth to 3 baby rabbits a year, how much rabbit would Hannah own after 10 years? So 1 pair of rabbit multiplied by 3, since it produces 3 babies a year, multiplied by 10, so Hannah would own 30 baby rabbits after 10 years. So did you understood the questions, class. So, I think you did. Okay, let us proceed to making word problems out of the context from the given expression. So, the first one, 10 times 3 is equal to 30. So, I will give you an example. After the enrollment in Bukidnon National High School, there were only 3 classrooms available. If each classroom will have 10 students, how many enrolled students are there in Bukidnon National High School? So, as you can hear me, class, I think I have mentioned all the things in the expression in my word problem. For example, the 10 is mentioned as students, and the 3 is the number of the classroom, and then the 30 is the answer for what is asked in the problem. Let us proceed. X plus 4. Let me think. Okay, here we go. Alea was baking muffin for her to eat, and then her sister came back with her other friends. If Alea has baked only 4 muffins, how much more will she bake until she will bake a total of 10 muffins, so that it can be shared to all of the people in the house? So I think you can already identify the elements in the word problem I made. So the 4 is the baked muffins by Alea, and the X is how many will Alea bake in order for her to bake or make a total of 10 muffins. So I think this is very easy to understand. So, okay. I will send this presentation in your Google Classroom in order for you to understand this lesson much more. So I think I have discussed what needs to be discussed today. So I hope that you have learned something today, and I hope that you are also okay. And thank you for listening, and God bless.